Thank you for joining me. In this video, we're going to demonstrate how to generate an ad hoc report. Once I'm logged in, navigate to Reports panel. Click the Ad hoc tab on the end. You will notice we have one or two custom ad hoc reports included in the product. Typically, when you want to start with a report, in most cases, you start with a blank canvas. In HoudiniEsq, we've taken a different approach. In HoudiniEsq, you use an existing ad hoc report as your starting point. That way, you don't have to create the bands, you don't have to create all the extra starting elements. You get started right away and get yourself a report. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the second one here called Report, which just matters. And I'm just going to click New at the top of the list. And what that's going to do is going to use that report as the baseline to create a new report. You'll see I get to the report designer. I have the properties panel on the left. I have the actual canvas where I design my report on the right, and a toolbar on the top, which is made up of several toolbars. Everything from layout to page to insert, and of course, home has a combination of all three. To save the report, I click the little save icon in the upper left-hand corner. And to go back to the ad hoc report list, you simply just click the ad hoc report tab at the top again. Okay. Right now, I'm going to edit this. At the bottom, we have our measurement. We have a check for issues panel. If you click that, it'll tell you what may be wrong. And this is things like one field may be overlaying another field and things of that nature, okay? And if you click these guys, it'll actually correct those items on the report for you, okay? Warnings you really don't have to worry about. They're just warnings, and you could take action or just leave it as is. It won't affect the report at all, okay? The next item is the page you're on, and then to the far right, if we look at the far right here, is an important icon here. This is where we just stretch the report to fit our window, okay? Both height and width-wise. Okay, and of course we have the scale control here, where we can actually adjust that manually, okay? So I'm just gonna hit maximize. Now I have my basic report here, and what I'm gonna do is explain what the body report entails. Okay, at the very top we have a title band, which is going to appear at the top of the report. That's usually your firm information, date of the report, and things of that nature. Then you have your header band, which is what appears always above a data band. A data band is a band of an area of the report that repeats rows of data. And above that, we want a header. So our columns, for example. And then below that, we have the optional footer header. So when you create a report, the very bare minimum, we already include this stuff in the report for you, so you don't have to deal with that kind of stuff. Now I'm going to change this report. When I select an element, you'll see that the properties panel changes. You can also get to different areas of the report, especially if your report's pretty big, by clicking the report tree. And you can click any item there, and then if you go to properties, it'll actually take you to the properties of that particular area on the tree that you just clicked. So in this case, I went to the report tree, I clicked the actual report at the top, I went back to properties, and I'm going to change the name of the report. I'm going to call it my report. Okay, a report name, you give an alias, who created the report, and of course a report description. Okay. The rest of the stuff is pretty self-explanatory. I'm just going to go ahead and skip that and get to the meat of what we're working on here. Okay. The dictionary is pretty important. The dictionary is how you add data. It's where all your functions and your variables and the actual data elements from Houdini get inserted into the actual report. So if you look at the data sources, you'll see under HoudiniEsq. Right now I have the matter view and the contact view. So by default, you'll have these guys, and that includes your custom fields as well if you have any. And custom fields appear like this. They look kind of crazy, but the actual friendly name, so the practice area and the actual column name appear in the brackets here. So for example, we're going to be using later, we use affirmative defense and my combo box, okay? So I have matter view and my contact view. And in this case, we're going to deal with matters. So at the very top, I'm going to click the title. I'm going to go back to properties, and I could change it here by typing report. But you can also double click an item, okay, to open it and change its variables and its formatting and things of that nature. I can also change the text and the style of that guy just by clicking that up at the very top, my toolbar. I'll leave it title 1. I'm going to call it my cool report. I'm going to leave the name of Houdini on the right there. Matter org name, now that's a global variable. And if I'll show you that to you in the dictionary. If you go to the dictionary on both either contact or matter, you'll notice that all uppercase variables are system-wide that include in every view the org name, for example. That would be my firm name. If I'm an agency, it would be the org name, obviously. But if I'm a law firm, it would be the firm name. If you want to include in the report, you just select that guy there. Okay. Date and functions like that are pretty straightforward. They're local variables such as time, report description, things of that nature. Let's get to the data. So I'm going to click the data band. And if I double click it, the first thing you want to do is you want to select the actual data source. So we're going to be pulling from Matterview. So in this case, under data sources, I would select Houdini, and I'll select Matterview and click OK. We're going to return to that in a second to show you how to apply filter and sorting. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, I have this contact name here that's included in the matter view. I want to add another field, so I'm just going to resize this guy just by dragging the element there. Okay. And to add a new field, I simply go to dictionary. I go to an actual variable inside the view. I'm going to select matter, and let's put another additional piece of information here from the matter itself. This is the matter ID. I already have the matter ID, so let's do my budget amount, and just for this example, I'm just going to drag it onto the canvas, resize it. And if I double click it, I can change that. If I made a mistake, I actually want to do amount, matter ref. We're gonna leave it as the budget, and set any additional information such as system variables. I may want to include it. I want to make an expression. I might want to put information here, so I may say the word budget, like so, in front of the actual variable name, and that's how I get an actual label inside there. Of course, I can create an individual label, but in this case, we're just going to leave that there, budget, like that. Now, that's not always filled in, but it's just for the report purposes. Changing the style, if I select the default, which is data 1, it'll turn it to the same color as those guys here, which is what I'm using on these guys. Okay, and you can refer to that here by when you click. It tells you which style you're using for each element. Okay, so let's go ahead and just save this and run it and see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm just going to hit the save, and I'm going to go back to the list view and take a look at it and just hit ad hoc my cool report. Okay, so let's go ahead and now add a filter to reduce this further. So let's just filter it so it just shows this sample Frank logic bit example here. I'm gonna go back to design mode, which is in the upper right hand corner. So now I have the actual report. I want to go back into design mode, upper right hand corner, select the report, click design. I'm gonna resize this guy here one more time. I'm going to double click the report band. Okay, I usually click the header of the report band. I'm going to click add filter, going to select the column, select the matter view, so scroll down to contact name, and I'm going to say if it containing the word Rivera, like so. I'm going to click OK, click save, click ad hoc again to return to the report. Now you see my report is now running, and it's filtering based on that value in that field. So let's look at adding a custom field filter to this guy. So I'm going to go back to the matter dashboard. And I believe I have an affirmative defense case here. I want to use civil action case here. It has some custom fields, custom drop downs. They just have item 1 through item 5 and stuff like that. I'm going to grab this value here just for my example. I'm going to copy that. And I want to include this particular item in my report by adding it to the filter. So I'm going to go back to report. I'm going to click design to go back into design mode. Double click the data band, select filter. Let's click add filter. Going to select our custom field. And I'm going to say containing that value, item 5. But what's important here that we have selected in the filter, I have and selected. Now we know that I don't have any values that have my name that are affirmative defense with the custom field that says item 5. So I want to use the or. So I'm going to say or. So whether it has a contact name or a custom field that has this value in it, okay? I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click Save. Going to re-click Ad hoc to return back to the ad hoc list. And there's our additional item. So you'll see our reports. Our report has all the elements. Now the problem with our report here is that it's not in the correct order. So let's create a sort. We'll go back to design. Double click the data band. In this case, we're going to select sort, and then click add sort, and we're going to select a field we want to sort by. In this case, I'm going to select the matter view, and I'm going to select the matter ref. Select matter ref, and we're going to select ascending instead of descending. It's like OK. Click Save. Click Ad hoc tab again to return to report view. And now you can see our report is in the correct sort order. So that covers the basics on creating an ad hoc report in HoudiniEsq. Thank you for joining me, and stay safe.